If you don't have room for a full-scale compost heap, then you can always employ the services of some worms and make a wormery. It's a very simple process. You're using the decomposition properties of worms. You can then put your kitchen waste in on top. The most important thing is that it has a lid with holes in it, because worms require fresh air coming in. Line the bottom with shredded newspaper and then dampen it down slightly. Put in a layer of sand to add a little bit of granular material. Then what you need to do is to put on the bedding layer. This is the layer that they'll principally spend their time in, and it needs to be quite rich and quite fertile and organic matter based. So some either good quality rotted garden compost or some composted farmyard manure. And then a few handfuls of compost. Then you can introduce the little fellas. You can buy these from some shops, some pet shops, some garden centres, or you can get them mail order. And you can see that they're a very gregarious bunch. Scatter them out. They'll spend most of their time in this lower layer. And they're actually very light sensitive, so it's important that you then cover them with another layer of bedding. Just sprinkle that on the top. And then you've got the layer that they're going to eat into. They're going to migrate up and grab a hold of the kitchen waste. Any scraps from the kitchen will do. You don't need to be too choosy as long as they're vegetable based. Avoid fatty products, cheeses, meats, anything which came out of the vegetable plot you can put on. I like to put another layer of compost on the top just to keep it nice and wet. A little splash of water, don't overdo it, otherwise you'll find that the whole thing becomes rather smelly. If it does become smelly, empty the box out and start the whole bedding process again, because the worms really don't like it becoming too wet. Cover with a lid and then put somewhere shaded and relatively cool. And as the kitchen scraps come out, keep topping them up. When the box is full and it's all been digested, you can then empty your worms out, and the raw compost can then go to make the most incredibly fertile and verdant growing medium, which will give your pots a real boost. For more information on how to create your own wormery and a host of other green gardening tips, go to ukgreenergardens.com.